The Thawing Terror. At the fringes of Antarctica, a remote research station found itself in the grip of an unprecedented heat wave. The team of scientists stationed there, led by Dr. Elizabeth Hawkins, struggled to comprehend the rapidly changing conditions and continue to study the effects of climate change on the frozen landscape. As the ice began to melt at an alarming rate, a shocking discovery was made. Encased within the melting ice was the remarkably preserved body of a prehistoric saber-toothed tiger. The scientists, intrigued by this extraordinary find, decided to study the creature and learn more about its life in a time long past. However, as the heat wave intensified, the unthinkable occurred. The once frozen saber-toothed tiger began to stir, its ancient slumber disrupted by the warmth that now engulfed it. The creature's instincts took over, and it awoke with a fierce hunger and a primal drive to survive. The research team found themselves in mortal danger as the once docile specimen transformed into a relentless predator. Led by Dr. Hawkins, the scientists scrambled to protect themselves and the research station from the thawed terror. Aware that they were ill-equipped to combat such a formidable foe, the team sent out a distress signal, desperately hoping for rescue. With each passing hour, the saber-toothed tiger grew bolder and more cunning, testing the defenses of the station and searching for a weakness to exploit. Knowing they were running out of defenses, Dr. Harrison, a climatologist, bravely ventured into the station's storage room to retrieve additional supplies for the barricades. Unbeknownst to him, the saber-toothed tiger had stealthily infiltrated the room to find food. As he turned to leave, the creature lunged at him, its fangs sinking into his chest and back. Hearing his screams, his colleagues rushed to his aid, managing to drive the beast away with a barrage of makeshift weapons. But it was too late. Dr. Harrison was severely injured and had lost too much blood. The team fought valiantly to stem the flow of blood, but it quickly became apparent that their efforts were in vain. With each labored breath, the light in Dr. Harrison's eyes dimmed, and his colleagues knew they were powerless to save him. Tears streamed down their faces as they listened to his final, heart-wrenching request to tell his family that he loved them dearly and had faced death with courage. As they huddled around him, offering whispered words of comfort and solace, the air in the room suddenly grew thick with menace. The door crashed open, and the saber-toothed tiger re-entered into the room, its eyes locked on Dr. Harrison's lifeless form. The researchers recoiled in horror, unable to process the macabre scene unfolding before them. With a blood-curdling snarl, the saber-toothed tiger seized Dr. Harrison's body in its powerful jaws, dragging him away into the darkness outside to feast. The team was left with a chilling reminder of the brutality of their adversary and a renewed determination to survive the nightmarish ordeal. Later that night, the saber-toothed tiger had managed to breach their defenses. The researchers found themselves cornered in the station's dining hall while they were looking for food. The team, forced to improvise, used chairs and kitchen utensils as weapons. As the tiger lunged at Dr. Patel, she narrowly evaded its powerful jaws by diving beneath the table. Simultaneously, Dr. Thompson swung a heavy frying pan at the tiger's head, stunning it momentarily. As the hours turned into days, the team found themselves growing increasingly desperate. They were running low on supplies, and their defenses were beginning to falter. Just when all seemed lost, the radio crackled to life with the promise of rescue. A specialized team had been dispatched to their location, equipped to deal with the prehistoric predator and ensure the safety of the scientists. With renewed hope, the researchers mustered the remaining strength and prepared for a final stand against the saber-toothed tiger. They turned the central room of the station into a makeshift fortress, reinforcing the doors and windows and creating an arsenal of improvised weapons from the tools and materials they had left on hand. The hours ticked away, the tension mounting as they waited for the saber-toothed tiger to make its move. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional howl of the Antarctic winds outside. Each of them knew that their lives were on the line, and the weight of that knowledge hung heavily in the air. Finally, the attack came. With a guttural snarl and a powerful lunge, the saber-toothed tiger burst through one of the reinforced doors, its eyes burning with predatory rage. The researchers sprang into action, their hearts pounding as adrenaline surged through their veins. Dr. Patel and Dr. Thompson worked together, attempting to flank the beast and force it into a corner. They wielded their makeshift weapons with grim determination, striking out at the creature whenever they saw an opening. Meanwhile, Dr. Ramirez focused on keeping the tiger's attention divided, hurling objects at it and shouting to distract it from her colleagues. The battle was brutal and chaotic, a desperate dance of life and death. Despite the team's best efforts, the saber-toothed tiger seemed unstoppable, its powerful muscles propelling it through the room with terrifying agility. At one point, Dr. Thompson was knocked to the ground, the creature's claws just inches from his face as he rolled away in a last-ditch effort to avoid being torn apart. At that moment, the rescue team had finally arrived. They descended upon the scene, armed with high-powered tranquilizer rifles and advanced containment gear. Their faces were a mixture of determination and concern, knowing full well the danger they faced. As the scientists fought to keep the saber-toothed tiger at bay, the rescuers moved with precision and skill, taking up positions around the room. With nerves of steel, they took aim and fired a barrage of tranquilizer darts into the ferocious beast. The tiger roared in fury, its movements growing increasingly sluggish as the powerful sedatives coursed through its veins. Despite its fading strength, the creature continued to thrash and snarl, its primal instincts driving it to fight until the bitter end. The rescue team worked swiftly, employing cutting-edge containment techniques to secure the enormous predator. They used reinforced netting and restraints, expertly maneuvering around the tiger's snapping jaws and slashing claws. With the last of the restraints in place, the once mighty saber-toothed tiger finally succumbed to the tranquilizers, its massive body slumping to the ground. The entire room seemed to exhale in unison, as both the scientists and the rescuers breathed a collective sigh of relief. Grateful for their survival and awed by the bravery of their rescuers, the scientists found themselves humbled in the face of such courage and expertise. With the threat neutralized, they could finally begin to process the harrowing ordeal they had endured and pay tribute to the sacrifices made in the name of discovery and survival. The saber-toothed tiger was carefully transported to a secure facility where it would be studied and monitored, its existence a testament to the power of nature and the unexpected consequences of a rapidly changing world. Dr. Hawkins and her team returned to civilization, forever changed by their harrowing experience. They had faced an ancient terror and emerged victorious, their bonds strengthened by adversity and the knowledge they had survived the wrath of the thawing terror.